Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Katrin, I work as a front-end developer and live in Germany. I do vlogs and tech tutorials, and in this video I wanted to share with you how I landed my current job in Germany. First of all, I want to highlight that previous time when I was looking for a job, it was 2 years ago, and the preparation process changed a lot in my opinion. Now we can use AI in order to make the preparation process much more productive. And here is the first tip. Use ChatGPT to plan your preparation. So the first thing that really helped me this time, it was sharing with ChatGPT all my daily routine. For example, for how many hours I work, if I have another businesses, another responsibilities. Ask it to plan a preparation process for me. I also shared what role I'm looking for, I am applying for, what my current role is, and what knowledge and skills I have, and where I think I have holes. It's going to give you, for example, a month's preparation plan. Then you can ask it to make a detailed weekly preparation plan and then create from it a daily preparation plan. Of course, you need to take it still critically and, for example, double some time slots that it gives you, because personally I need, for example, a little bit more time to understand some topics, but in general it does a really good job. Also, if you already received an invitation to the interview, send to ChatGPT the description of the role and of the company and ask it what you should focus on. That's how, for example, it suggested me to focus on system design topics. Tip number 2, you also can use it for role playing. Before the interview, ask ChatGPT to create a whole bunch of possible questions that it thinks you can be asked during this interview, then answer them, record yourself, and next ask ChatGPT to imagine that it is an interviewer if it would hire you, and then ask questions like why yes, why not, what you should improve, and that's how you can also find areas where you should focus on. Another tip that I received from one friend is watch mock interviews. There are plenty of them on YouTube. You can see how different people answer different questions, even just simple introduction questions, how interviewers analyze the performance afterwards, and you can get new ideas on what and on how you should tell about yourself, for example. Even this part, introduce yourself, is very crucial because you can get to the technical part of the interview without passing the first introductory part, and you need to understand what would work the best for you. And here's a tip number 4, make your introduction perfect. Role play your introduction, because it's a simple thing, but you do not want to lose points here. Think of few sentences, how you can structure them in order to sum up and communicate all the strengths that you have for this role. Also pay attention to the role, how the company describes the role, because you can then include some keywords into your introduction or when you share about your experiences. For example, if they are looking for someone to mentor people, then share that you already mentored people. If code reviews are important for them, then share that you did code reviews. Tip number 5, take notes during the interview, but not too many. Just write down some key takeaways in order to use them after that for writing a follow-up email. I'll get back to that. But do not write down everything, because then you are not going to be attentive. You're not going, for example, to look into the eyes of the person who is talking to you, and you can miss some signals. For example, if they are interested, or if they are smiling, or if something went wrong. If it's an online interview, then record your answers, transcribe them, and after that ask ChatGPT to analyze them, and again ask the same question: would you hire me? Why and why not? That's how you can understand what you could do differently next time. Now about follow-up emails. I usually never wrote follow-up emails, but this time I decided to try something different. I did it, and I think it's a great opportunity to leave a good impression about yourself, because I'm sure that not many people do that. And also, if you feel that you probably going to be rejected, but the process was a positive one, then it's better again to still write a follow-up email, just sharing about your experience, your positive impression, and the process was great. I did it too, and I think that I left a good impression, and I would be considered to the future positions if I applied again. Tip number 6, adapt your strategy constantly. Let's take your CV. Send 30-40 CVs. Have a look how companies reply to you. If you receive 3 or 4 invitations to the interviews, then everything is great. If you received only rejections and absolutely none invitations to the interviews, then something is wrong. And you need to analyze and find what you can adapt. Ask friends, ask family members to help you with it, or just send it again to ChatGPT and ask it to analyze it from the point of local job openings. Also, create an Excel or use any other tool where you can track your progress. It means that you're going to write down the company you send there, a CV. You're going to write down if you received yes or no, on what stage, for example, you are. Also, it's very helpful to save there the links to the role that you applied for, because after that it's much easier to find the job description. And also that's how you can avoid to send to the same company, I don't know, 5 times your CV. And the same applies to any other stage of the interview. If you can't pass introductory stage, then something is wrong with the way how you behave yourself or what you're talking, what you are sharing, and you need to adapt it. Tip number 7, when you get to the technical part, focus on the right technical skills. Let's put aside if you are preparing yourself for a Google. Another story, you need to spend all days long just learning algorithm and doing lead code. But if you are looking for a front-end, for example, position just in a usual company, then you do not need so much algorithm practice. Instead, try solving only one lead code task that focuses only on things that you're going to use during your job. For example, arrays, filtering logic, models that simulate real-life examples and applications. So focus on skills that you are really going to need. Tip number 8, learn system designs for more senior roles. Learn at least vocabulary and basic concepts, because you can be asked, how would you design Netflix? And remember that there is usually no right answer. They just want to see how you think. That's the point where you're going to need all the knowledge that you already gathered. They want to see how, for example, what architecture you choose, how your components are going to interact with each other. And important point is that you need to always back up your answer. So if you chose one architecture, explain why. If you chose some UI or state management library, explain why it would be good for this app. Almost the last one, soft skills matter. You're going to ask, but I'm going to code for the whole day, so why do I need soft skills? You are still going to work with team members. Sometimes you can work with clients. You are going to have managers. So being a good communicator, positive person, open-minded and easygoing is going to be a huge plus for you. And nowadays, soft skills actually might be even more important than your technical skills, because collaboration is getting a huge attention nowadays in IT. Now, some bonus infos. You need to know what is not okay, and you need to detect red flags. Sometimes we forget that we also choose if the company is a good fit for us. You need to receive the same what the company is expecting from you. For example, they also need to be on time. They need to dress appropriately, they need to respect you and make you feel comfortable. So pay attention to red flags, like for example if they mocked you or made you feel yourself unqualified for the role. Also, do not agree to any unpaid demo days or unpaid tasks where you have a feeling that they are going just to use your knowledge to reject you, than to use what you did or shared with them in their projects. Especially dangerous for for designers, I think. So for example, I know that here people usually pay for a demo day. Or for example, if you received a coding task, then evaluate it, because if you're going to spend more than 3 days on it, then ask yourself, are you sure you want to work on something like that, in order just for people to understand if you are capable of doing something like that. Because in order to check your knowledge, you actually do not need a huge task. You need some dashboard where you can show what architecture decisions you made, what state management tools you used, what UI libraries you used, how you wrote or structured the logic, if you used custom hooks, etc. You do not need a lot for that. And by the way, I created a mini tutorial on how to build a dashboard in React using Zustand and many other architectural concepts. So be realistic, because especially if they give you unrealistic deadlines to finish this task, just imagine that it's going to be in a real life the same situation. They are going all the time to ask for more in a less time. So I'm not sure that you want it. And the last thing, do not be afraid to negotiate the salary. It is a difficult one, especially for me as a woman. I'm just very bad at it, but you should do better. Firstly, I would try to learn how you can actually ask for the budget. I know that people already do it, and some companies also already do it. And it happened once. To me, it was great. And actually, what I wanted to ask for was much less than what they were prepared to pay. So if you can learn this method and use it, it would be wonderful. But if you can't, then give at least a range. Do a research and understand what you should be approximately be paid in that role, and give minimum and maximum, and then usually companies meet you somewhere in the middle. Also, sometimes they just tell you the minimum. At least try to ask for more. Of course, they might say no, but you can still try to, if you see, for example, that you're going to have more responsibilities than usual or something like that, just try to negotiate it and back up your a little bit higher salary with it, and it's going to work. So don't be shy. So those were all my tips and tricks. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have any additional questions, let me know. And also, if there is a specific topic that you would like me to cover in my next video, just also let me know. I hope this video helps you to find your dream job, and it gave you at least some ideas to think about. So have a great coding day, like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one.